Welcome, listeners, to a deep dive into something that, well, gets every pilot's attention. Turbulence under instrument flight rules, IFR.
Hmm.
You know that feeling? You're on an IFR flight plan, maybe deep in the clouds, instruments your only real guide, and suddenly, wham, feels like the plane just hit a pothole the size of Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Or your coffee suddenly decides to inspect the ceiling.
Right. That jolt isn't just uncomfortable. When you're in IMC, instrument meteorological conditions, it adds real layers of risk.
Absolutely. And for anyone working on their instrument rating, especially the BIR, understanding turbulence isn't just about, passing the exam.
No.
It's about knowing what really matters when you're hand flying, say, your Cessna or Piper in bumpy air. So our mission today, equip you with that practical in-the-cockpit knowledge.
Okay.
We'll cover the types, how bad is bad, and crucially, solid IFR strategies for handling it.
Let's get into it. Where does this stuff come from?
Okay, let's break down the main culprits. First up, there's mechanical turbulence. Yeah, think of it like air getting tripped up. It's caused by airflow hitting solid stuffed terrain like hills or mountains, buildings, even a dense forest.
Ah, okay.
You find it mostly at lower altitudes, and it can get pretty rough, especially if you've got strong surface winds blowing over that rough terrain.
So what this means in the cockpit is be wary down low, especially downwind of obstacles.
Precisely. Flying on the lee side of a mountain range or even tall city buildings on a windy day, expect it to get potentially quite sporty.
Got it. What's next?
Then you've got thermal or convective turbulence. This is all about rising warm air. Think summer days, puffy cumulus clouds.
Especially the big towering ones.
Yeah, exactly. Towering cumulus, thunderstorms, definite hot spots. But even just unstable air masses on a hot day over varied ground surfaces can cause it. Dark fields heating up next to cooler forests, that kind of thing.
It's like the air is bubbling up, uneven heating.
You've got it. The atmosphere is literally convecting.
Okay, now what about the sneaky kind, the one you can't see?
Ah, yes. The infamous clear air turbulence, or CCAT-T. This one's tricky because, well, the name says it all. It happens in clear skies, usually higher up, often hanging around jet streams.
And you don't see it coming?
Nope. It's often sudden, hard to predict visually. It's mostly caused by significant wind shear between different air masses moving at very different speeds, way up high, can give you quite a jolt.
That's the one that makes you grab the yoke suddenly. A real wake-up call.
Definitely. And that brings us neatly to wind shear itself, which isn't exactly a type of turbulence like the others, but a major cause of it, especially dangerous kinds.
Explain that difference.
Well, wind shear is simply a rapid change in wind speed or direction over a really short distance, vertically or horizontally.
Okay.
You find it near weather fronts, under thunderstorms, with temperature inversions, sometimes even just strong surface winds interacting with obstacles. For a light GA plane, it's critical.
Especially near the ground.
Exactly. Takeoff and landing. A sudden loss or gain of airspeed due to shear can be really dangerous. It can dramatically affect your lift, your climb rate. It needs serious respect.
Okay, so we know the types. Now you're in it. How do you describe how bad it is? For ATC or just for your own assessment?
Good question. We use standard classifications. Helps everyone understand the situation. First is light.
Light. Feels like.
Slight, brief changes in altitude or attitude. You feel a few bumps, a little jiggle, nothing too dramatic, easily handled. Might make you check your coffee cup lid.
Huh, right, okay.
Then moderate. This is more intense, bigger changes in altitude or attitude, but the aircraft is still controllable. You'll definitely feel it, need to make deliberate control inputs. Things might shift around a bit if not secured.
You're actively flying the plane now.
Definitely. Then comes severe. Now we're talking large, abrupt changes. You might momentarily lose control. Stuff will be flying around the cockpit if it's loose. Your focus has to be purely on maintaining control.
That sounds intense.
It is. And finally, extreme. Thankfully, this is exceedingly rare. But here, the aircraft can be tossed about violently. There's a genuine risk of structural damage. It really underscores why we plan to avoid severe conditions.
So examiners might want the definitions, but in the cockpit, it's about quickly saying, okay, this is moderate, maybe getting severe, and acting fast.
Exactly that. Quick
Yeah.
assessment, appropriate reaction, that's what matters.
All right, the big one. We've identified it. We've maybe classified it. What do we do? The IFR strategies.
Right. This is the core of it. Most important part, first thing. Adjust your speed. Slow down to the maneuvering speed, VA, or the recommended turbulence penetration speed from your aircraft manual.
VA. Why is that specific speed so important?
It's an engineering balance. It's slow enough that if you hit a really severe gust, the wing is designed to stall before the airframe experiences enough force to cause structural damage. But it's still fast enough to give you positive control authority.
So it protects the airframe. Smart. What's next?
Next, and this is crucial, especially in IMC, maintain attitude over altitude. Fly the attitude indicator.
Not chase the altimeter.
Exactly. Your altitude will fluctuate in turbulence. Trying to hold it perfectly is exhausting and often futile. Keep the wings level, keep the nose in the right attitude for your target speed, accept some altitude deviations, fly the airplane.
That's a classic mantra for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
What about the autopilot?
Be very careful with it. Some autopilots handle turbulence well, others not so much. They might try too hard to maintain that exact altitude, leading to large pitch changes and potentially stressing the aircraft or disconnecting abruptly.
So be ready to click it off and hand fly?
Absolutely. Sometimes a smooth human hand is better. Also, simple stuff. Secure everything in the cockpit before flight. Water bottles, checklists, tablets. You don't want them becoming projectile.
Good point. A flying iPad is not helpful.
Not at all. And finally, don't be afraid to talk to ATC. Request rerouting or an altitude change. If things are bad, tell them. They have the bigger picture, maybe PIREPs from other aircraft. They're there to help.
Use the system. Makes sense.
The overall key. Stay ahead of the forecast. Plan to avoid known rough areas. And if you do encounter it, stay calm, methodical, fly the attitude, manage your speed.
Wow. That was a comprehensive dive into turbulence.
Yeah.
We've hit the what, the why, and definitely the how-to for staying safe in IFR.
Yeah, and understanding this isn't just BIR exam fodder. This is real-world stuff for confidently handling your aircraft when the air gets bumpy.
It really demystifies it a bit.
Absolutely. The aha moment, I think, is realizing turbulence isn't just something scary that happens to you. With the right knowledge and strategy, it becomes just another factor you manage, like crosswinds or icing potential.
A manageable factor.
Yeah.
Like that. So for you listening, here's something to think about. What's one specific thing you'll change, or maybe just double-check in your routine after hearing this? Could be how you brief FAA, how you scan forecasts for turbulence clues, or even just tidying the cockpit better.
Good thought. Something concrete for the next flight.
Exactly. Mull that over. Until next time, fly safe, everyone.